Hey, loser. I just wanted to let you know that I just heard from the bank and it sounds like I'm going to get that job after all. I bet that you have got to be so jealous of me right now. Are you? I bet that you are. You don't even have to tell me that you are. I mean, you barely even passed high school. So what are you doing with your life that you have to be proud of anyways?
So you are going to go and work for the bank after all? I guess it's a good thing that you enjoy doing exactly whatever Mom and Dad tell you to do.
I'm not only applying there because they wanted me to work there. I'm applying there because that's where I want to work too. What do you even know about having a real career, huh? You only have a high school diploma and could never in a million years do the kinds of things that I've done, or will do.
Wow, you are really hung up on my high school diploma, huh? You must think about that more than even I do.
Well, of course I do. You're like a marker on the wall that I can always back on to see how much I've grown. I mean, you're consistent in the way that you never even try to accomplish anything with your life.
Why are you being like this to me, Rachel? I mean, we're sisters, and I don't like being treated this way by you. Do you really think this is a good way to talk to others? Don't you know that one day all of this looking down on other people is going to bite you in the butt?
Look down on others? Don't worry, I don't do it to everyone. Only the people that really deserve it. Like you. Aw, see? You are special in your own way after all. And I'm not the only one that looks down on you like this. Mom and Dad feel the exact same way. So who am I to go against what they've decided about you?
I don't even know why I bothered responding to your text. I knew that you were going to act like this towards me. Well, I am through with this. I don't see any point in keeping up with this conversation.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I guess I'll just throw away all of your belongings then.
What on earth are you talking about this time, Rachel?
Well, I just mean that you're the only one in the family who was never ever going to work in a bank. All you do is mope around the house all day doing nothing.
Okay, I think we both know that is not true. I do very little moping, thank you very much. I have a job that I enjoy, I work hard, and I contribute a lot to our expenses. In fact, I'm even paying for part of your tuition with the money I give to Mom and Dad.
I know all about how you pay that. After all, we're all elite bankers. So why wouldn't you pay for someone as great as me to go to college when the same thing would just be wasted on you? And that point of mine is just proved by the fact that I got this job at the bank. So there. In fact, now that I have this job, it really does just make me realize how useless you are. That's why I'm going to make you move out of the house. You're just not needed around here anymore at all. Of course, I've wanted to do this for a long, long time, but it wasn't until now that I was sure it could work.
Are you serious? You're really going to try and throw me out of the house?
Well, I'm already dumping out all of your stuff. If you want to make sure it's not all gone, you had better come back home and get it all right now.
Well, this all escalated really quickly, but... Rachel, I'm just curious if you know just how much money I've put into the house. I mean, even more than our older brother. Out of all the siblings, I've contributed the most to making sure that Mom and Dad still have a roof over their heads. In fact, I don't know if our brother has even spent a cent of his own money to do anything for Mom or Dad or any of us.
And so what? Do you want a medal or something? You've been living with Mom and Dad, so of course you're going to put money into the house. But think of it this way. You won't have to do that anymore. It's perfect, really. I'm going to cut you off from our family and you won't have to think about us again.
You really mean it? You just want me to up and disappear just like that?
Of course. Now that I have this job, Mom and Dad won't be needing your money anymore. So you can just take your things, leave, and then never ever come back. I don't even want to have to think about you ever again. I want it to be like you just dropped off the map entirely. I mean, at this rate, it really would just be better for everyone if you did that. Don't you know that you're nothing but a burden to everyone around you?
You know, I really didn't think that you would actually ever try to take things so far. But despite all your insults, I've still stuck around to help out the family, including you. But I guess you're not impressed by all of that. So fine. If that's what you really want, then I'll just go. And I guess this also means that I can stop giving the family money. Just think about the amazing place I'll get to live with all those savings. That and all the things that I'll get to be able to do but wasn't able to because of family obligations.
I don't care what you do with your life or where you go. You're nothing but a loser and you were never good enough to be one of us. You've never accomplished anything at all. You don't have a boyfriend. You don't have anything going for you. Even after you move out, you're still going to be alone for the rest of your life. Nothing you say is ever going to convince me that you're worth having around.
Well, okay then. You say all that now, but I think in a little while you're going to regret all of this. But that's fine with me. If anything, it feels like a huge weight has just been taken off of my shoulders. So just make sure that you keep up your side of the bargain and never ever bother me again, okay? And don't come crawling back to me for help either. I have no intention to ever help my family after they have been so awful to me this entire time.
What in the world do you think you're doing here, huh? I mean, really, have you lost your mind or something like that? You've got some serious nerve even showing your face around here again.
Well, who would have guessed that I would have run into my elite banking family at this wedding of all places? Wow, sometimes the world really is a small place, isn't it? I mean, what can you say in this situation except, wow.
Don't you act like this is just some complete coincidence that you don't know was going to happen? You snuck into this wedding, didn't you? You must have found out somehow that we were all going to be here, and that's why you snuck in here, right?
No, I haven't really thought about you or anyone else from the family in a long time. I really am just as shocked as you are.
You're a liar. You were lying, and I know it. You had to have looked into us or found the guest list for the wedding or something. How else would you have known that we were here?
Well, I just explained to you that I actually didn't know that you were here at all. But if you want to know how I ended up here at the wedding, first I received the invitation in the mail, then I RSVP'd to the wedding, and then finally, I showed up today.
Oh, please. You really expect me to believe that? You really think I'm going to buy that you were actually invited here? There's no way that could be. There's no way that any wedding where we were invited would be a wedding where you would also be invited. It just doesn't make any sense.
Rachel, is this really how you want to greet your sister after we haven't talked in 8 years?
Of course not. I would rather not have this conversation at all. I thought that I was never ever going to have to see you ever again.
You know, with all that screaming you're doing, you're probably scaring some of the other wedding guests. Can you at least learn how to sit still and keep your mouth shut while you're angrily texting me? I mean, really, it's just a bit rude to the bride and groom, don't you think?
I am not going to have this conversation with you, Ashley. I just want you to leave and come back. Right now, okay?
I'm sorry, but what makes you think that you have any right to be able to boss me around like that, huh? I mean, do you really think that I'm just going to turn around and go home because you told me to?
What is that supposed to mean, huh? Besides, you still haven't actually told me why you're here at my wedding. Because there was no way that you were actually invited here. And since I know that you don't belong here and weren't invited, you should just go now.
You really have no idea at all what you're talking about, do you?
No, you're the one who doesn't know anything about anything. If you did, then you would know better than to show your face in a place like this.
Well, okay. If you really want me to go, then I guess that I can. But the only problem is that I'm the CEO of the company where the groom works, so I just hope I don't hurt his feelings.
Wait, what? That doesn't even make any sense. What do you mean that you're a CEO?
Well, I was invited to the wedding by Harry, the groom, right? I know that it might be a bit hard for you to accept what you're about to hear, but I really don't care, because I don't like you. The truth of the matter is that Harry invited me to his wedding so that I could give a speech to honor him.
But that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't get how this is happening. I mean, how do you even know Harry?
I'm sorry, Rachel, but I literally just finished explaining everything to you. I don't really have time to just talk in circles with you, so I'm just going to go home like you said, okay? I hope you enjoy the rest of your wedding, though.
Ashley, are you here? Please tell me that you're somewhere nearby right now. You need to come back to the wedding right now. It's an emergency.
Wait, what? But I don't get it. Just a while ago, you were telling me about how I didn't belong here and how I needed to leave, right? Besides, I thought you said that you never even wanted to think about me again. It's pretty strange that you're texting me begging to come back now.
Oh, just shut up about that. I don't care about what we've said in the past. This is about the here and now.
Well, I'm afraid that I've already done as you asked, and I left to go back home. So, what is it that you want from me?
Well, when everyone found out that Harry's boss, who was going to give a speech, had gone home, the whole wedding turned into complete chaos. And I think that if I were to try and sneak out of the wedding right now, that people might guess that I was the one who told you to leave. So as you can see, I am in some serious trouble right now. That is why you have to come back here right now. I'm serious.
I see. Well, that is a very tough spot to be in, but I think I'm going to pass. Thank you.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that even if I did come back, since people have already noticed, I don't think it would fix the situation how you think it would. Besides, I think that you need to learn a lesson after the way that you treated me. I'm sure that it's just a matter of time before Harry finds out the truth anyways. Besides, I already told my secretary that I left, so...
You told your secretary? Then it really is true, isn't it? You really are a CEO of some company?
Yep, that's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time, but you haven't been listening. After you threw me out of the house, I went out and started doing the things that I wanted to do. And that included going out and starting my own business as well. So I worked hard and started from the ground up. I poured my heart and soul into my company, and thankfully I happened to have a lot of great people who were there to help me along the way.
Oh, wait. Harry just announced that they were going to postpone the wedding in light of all that's going on.
Oh, really? Wow. I can't believe that actually would do something like that. Of course, most of the employees are quite familiar with my personal background and family problems.
What do you mean? Why would you tell all your employees about that? What kind of CEO would even do that?
Well, when I was trying to recruit people to come and work for me, I had to give them a vision to believe in, right? So I told them about how my family threw me out for not conforming to their sense of elitism and that I went out to start my own business. I think a lot of people were really inspired by what I had to say, and Harry was one of those people. So I think that when he puts it together that he invited members of my family to his wedding that I went missing from, well, I'm sure you can do the math.
But don't you see how I'm going to get into a lot of trouble for this? I mean, if anyone finds out that we're related and that I was the one who chased you off, then that's going to be really, really bad for me. The wedding won't just be postponed, it'll be canceled.
Yeah, it sounds like it might come to that, actually.
This isn't a joke. This is serious. This is my life, okay? What am I supposed to do right now? You have to do something about this. You have to set everyone straight, please.
You're really coming to ask me for help right now? What is it that you even think I could do for you?
Well, I mean, you could come back and tell everyone at the wedding that I had nothing to do with this at all.
But that isn't true. You did have everything to do with this. I think you really want me to just get you out of this pickle without having to learn any kind of lesson to be punished. But the fact of the matter is that you threw out the person who was going to give a speech to your fiancé.
But none of this even makes sense to me. I mean, you only have a high school diploma. When I saw that you had snuck into my wedding, I knew that it was because you were up to no good. That's why I had to kick you out the moment that I saw you.
Rachel, for the last time, I was just as shocked to see you at this wedding as you were me. We haven't talked in 8 years, and I really thought that was just going to go on forever. Why in the world do you think I would even want to sneak into your wedding? What do you think I would gain from that?
Well, I mean, I had no idea that you were actually a CEO. You should have told me that from the very start.
What are you talking about? You were the one who for 10 years has been putting me down for my lack of education. You were the one who came to me all upset because you thought I wasn't invited and that I had snuck into your wedding. Even if I told you everything, it's not like you would have listened to me in the first place.
Well, how was I supposed to know that you went and started your own company when we haven't even spoken in years?
I don't know what you want me to say to that. You were the one that kicked me out of the house. You were the one that said you never wanted to talk to me again. And it was you who told me to leave your wedding and never ever come back. And now you want me to try and undo all the damage that you've been setting up for yourself for nearly a decade? Well, sorry, but you did this to yourself, and it's not my job to fix it for you. The fact of the matter is that you caused this, and this is all your fault. If people get mad at you for this, then I say more power to them. But I want you to know that I had no idea that you were Harry's fiancé at all. Of course, now that I do know that, I just feel bad for him since it's clear you haven't changed at all.
You mean you really didn't know? This was all just a coincidence.
How many times are you going to make me repeat the fact that I was? I really wish you would wake up and quit trying to think that you're some kind of infallible superhuman or something. Honestly, I had no idea that you were getting married, and even if I did know, I wouldn't care. The only reason I was there was to support an employee of mine, and the only reason I left was because the rude bride kicked me out.
Please, I'm sorry for everything. You're right. I've been a jerk and you haven't deserved any of this. But I really need your help right now. You have to come back here right away. I'm begging you as your sister.
Are you stupid or something? You and I are not sisters anymore. That ended when you kicked me out of the house 8 years ago. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go back to my life, married with kids, and the CEO of a very successful company.
Wait, what? You're married and you have kids? Are you kidding me? When did this happen? I really had no idea about any of this. Hello? Are you reading these messages anymore? Answer me, Ashley!
After that, I heard that Harry decided to call the wedding off entirely. Needless to say, Rachel was just crushed when she heard that. Harry told me all of this later on at work. I reassured him that it wasn't his fault, and he reassured me that it wasn't mine either. In fact, apparently he was already having second thoughts about the marriage as he learned about the kind of person that my sister was. And I told him that he was probably dodging a bullet by doing this, and now that that's all over, I can finally go back to ignoring my horrible family and getting back to my amazing life without them. As for what Rachel did after the wedding, I really am not quite sure. I really hadn't kept up with her or my family for the entire time since she kicked me out of their house, and my parents never did anything to stop her from doing so. Although years and years later, I heard through the grapevine a little bit of what had happened to her. Apparently, after her wedding to Harry was canceled, she fell into a pretty deep depression. She was so sure that nothing she could ever do could be wrong, and on that day she learned just how wrong she really was. Then the situation got so bad that she even stopped showing up for work. I heard that not long after that, she was fired and moved into a tiny apartment all by herself. As to what she's been up to with her life since then, well, I can really honestly say that I have no clue. And if I can do anything about it, I intend to keep it that way.
Hi, Jason. I hope you're well. I was just wondering if you had signed those divorce papers yet. I wouldn't ask. It's just that my lawyers were waiting to finalize everything up.
Oh, hi, Fleur. Yeah, sure. I haven't signed them yet, but I can get them done into you by the end of the day, if that's okay.
Yeah, that should be fine. So, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been okay. Just working as usual. How about you? How's the new job treating you?
Oh, yeah, it's going good. I've settled in nicely, made a few friends. I'm actually going out with a couple of the girls from work this weekend to try and get to know the city a bit better.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully you'll have a bit of fun then.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it'll be okay. Have you been up to much?
Oh, yeah, I've just been getting stuck into work, really. It's been really busy lately. I've hardly got any chance to actually go home. I feel like I'm living at the office more than not.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
I just mean that when we were together, you were at the office a lot. You hardly had any time to spend with me. That is kind of why we split up.
Well, I guess, but I wasn't the only one who caused us to break up. It took two people to split this relationship up.
What are you on about? I didn't do anything.
Oh, please, you were constantly nagging me and telling me to do everything under the sun that you could think of in the house. You also moaned at me about how much I was working, and I know that it was a lot, but it was the only way to afford the house we were living in and the lifestyle we were living as well.
Yeah, well, I guess you're sort of right. But I mean, you were the one who was mainly at work or something. Although, I guess my new job opportunity didn't help things.
Yeah, that had you out of the house a lot more once you had decided that you were going to take it. I'm happy for you, but it was the final nail in the coffin for us.
Do you really think that was what did it?
Well, I don't think it helped any.
Well, I guess not.
But as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's okay. Some couples just aren't meant to last.
Yeah, I guess.
Though it probably didn't help that you started seeing that guy at your work.
Excuse you? I didn't start seeing anyone whilst we were together. Where on earth has this come from? Since when did you start accusing me of cheating on you?
Oh, please, you can drop the act now. I know that you started seeing him near the end of our relationship. It was incredibly obvious. All that time you were spending at the office. Did you really think that you had me fooled? It wasn't a very good lie.
I wasn't lying. I was at the office and I was working. I would never cheat on you. Or anyone I was with for that matter. I'm definitely not that kind of person.
Then why were you spending so much time with him? Every other word out of your mouth at the time was how you and, what was his name again? George?
His name was Joe.
Ah, that's right, Joe. All you could talk about was how you and Joe had so much work to do and how you both needed to pull loads of overtime to get your work done on time. If there was ever a more blatant lie or poor cover-up, then that was it. No one spends that much time with someone, even if it's for work, if they don't like the person that they're with.
Well, of course I liked him. Joe is my friend. We worked together for quite a few years as we both started at the same time. We helped each other through a lot of difficult times, both in our jobs and in our personal lives. In fact, I knew Joe before I'd even met you. Surely if I had wanted to be with him, I wouldn't have dated and married you, right?
Well, not necessarily. He might not have been available at the time when we met, and then when he became single, that's when you decided to start your relationship with him. Regardless of if you were already married at the time or not.
You really think that I would do something like that? You really think that I am that horrible? That I would just simply abandon you and betray you in such a horrible manner? Well, I guess it's good to know what you really think of me then.
Well, you are the one who's trying to take me for everything I have in this divorce. I don't think a nice person would do something like that, do you? Leave the person they've been married to for the last 5 years with absolutely nothing, not even a penny to his name.
I am not taking you for everything that you have. I personally don't want that much from you. Just a little bit of money to cover the cost of the house, considering you're the one who is staying in it despite us buying it together. That's all I'm asking for. A buyout from the house.
You do realize that in this market, our house is upwards of $300,000, right? For me to pay you your half, I'm gonna have to sell the place anyway and move somewhere cheaper. I don't have $150,000 just lying around, you know? Effectively, you're kicking me out of my home, so thank you for that.
Jason, I'm sorry if that's what happens, but I put money into that place as well. How is it fair for you to keep the house and I get nothing, despite me putting a load of money into it as well? And not just in the initial buying of it, but the bills and the interior decorating of it. Most of those furnishings and things that actually make the house look nice were bought by me. And yet, I'm not asking for those back. The most I want is the money that I am legally owed. It's not cheap moving to an entirely new state, you know. Plus, living in a city is twice as expensive as in a town, like where we are. I need financial aid so that I can actually live in the place where my job is. I don't think that's something that's unreasonable to ask.
Well, I think it is, especially when it forces your husband out onto the streets.
You won't end up on the streets. Even if you do have to sell the house, which isn't a necessity as you can remortgage it, you will still get $150,000, so you can either buy a new place or rent somewhere. And if you want to look around for a little bit, I know your mom will let you stay with her until you're ready to move somewhere else. So don't try and guilt trip me into not getting what I deserve when I have worked incredibly hard to get it in the first place.
Whatever, I don't care anymore. I'll find a new place to live and I won't let you know where it is. I want nothing to do with you after this divorce is over and done for. I'll get the signed papers to you as soon as possible, then we can finally be rid of one another.
Sounds good to me.
Fine. Now, if you don't mind, I've got to get back to work. We can't all just do nothing all day and call it work. So, I can't waste any more time listening to you whine.
Oh, please. The one whining about anything right now is you.
Keep believing that if you want to, but we both know the truth here.
Yeah, I think we do.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Fleur? It's been a little while.
Angela? Hi. Yeah, it has been a while. I don't think we've spoken since me and Jason first told everyone that we were getting a divorce. How come you're messaging me? Not that I mind you messaging me. I still think you're a lovely person, and what me and Jason are going through seriously has no impact on how I think of you and what I feel about you as a person. I'm kind of rambling. Are you okay? Is there a specific reason you messaged, or did you just want to talk?
No. There was a reason. Jason was in a car accident.
Huh?
And he is critically injured.
Hang on. What? How is that possible? I was literally just talking to him this afternoon. How on earth has this happened?
Apparently, he was on his way home from work after staying a little later at the office to finish off some work. He was just driving his normal route home when someone ran a red light whilst he was crossing it and smacked right into the driver's side of his car. It was a really bad wreck. Firemen were called, and they had to cut him out of his car. He was then airlifted to the nearest hospital, where he's been in intensive care all night. He's recently stabilized, or so the doctors say, which is why I thought I'd let you know. I'd have messaged you earlier, but I didn't want to say anything when I didn't know myself what was happening for certain. It was touch and go there for a while with him, and I was fearing the worst.
Oh, Angela, that's okay. I just wish I could have been there to give you a bit of comfort and to make sure you were okay. Or, well, as okay as you can be in this kind of situation.
Thanks.
So he's stable now? What did the doctors say? How bad are his injuries?
Well, they haven't told us everything, but they did say that
What? What is it?
he's going to be paralyzed from the waist down for the rest of his life.
What?
Yeah, he got pinned or something in the car and it damaged his spine. He's not going to be able to walk again.
Oh, that's awful. I don't know what to say. I just can't believe this has happened to him. He was perfectly fine this afternoon. I mean, we even got into an argument. Oh no. I don't want my last words to him to be an argument. I've got to come and see him.
But aren't you in a completely different state now? It'll take you ages to make it back.
It doesn't matter. I'll get the next flight out back home. I've just got to come and see him. I can't just leave him on his own, especially not at a time like this.
Well, okay then. But the doctors aren't actually letting people in to visit him yet, so you don't need to rush about too much. He's only just come out of intensive care, so they'll be monitoring him for a while yet, and I doubt anyone will be able to get in to see him until at least tomorrow.
Well, just keep me posted. I'll let you know once I've managed to get a flight and I'm on my way, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Fleur.
No, thank you, Angela, for letting me know what's happened. I know it's not easy, what with me and Jason and the divorce, and you probably think the worst of me, but I can't tell you how thankful I am to you that you let me know what's happened.
Well, I'll see you soon.
Of course. And if anything changes in the meantime, just let me know. I'll have my phone on me at all times. And if you're able to see him before I get there, and if he's awake, just let Jason know that I'm on my way.
Okay. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hey, Fleur, how's the flight?
Ugh, they've delayed the flight for 2 hours. So I was supposed to fly at 23:30, but now I've got to wait until 1:30. And that's if they don't decide to cancel the stupid thing. I swear, I might just drive to the hospital. It'd probably be quicker than waiting for this stupid flight.
Well, it's okay. You'll get here when you get here. We don't want another accident to happen by you rushing too much.
You're right. I'm just frustrated and worried. How is he doing?
Actually, he's woken up. He's asked me to send you some messages on his behalf.
He's awake? That's great. How is he feeling?
He's a little groggy, but that's to be expected from all of the pain medication. He's been asking after you, though.
You just tell him that I'll be there soon, that I'm trying my hardest to get to him, and that he doesn't need to worry, as I'll be there within the next few hours.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Also, tell him that I'm sorry about the argument earlier today. I didn't want to get into a fight with him, and it all just got a little heated. I'll also apologize in person when I get to the hospital, but I just wanted him to know I was sorry.
He says that he's sorry as well. He said some things that were totally out of line and that he doesn't believe in at all.
It's okay. We both said things we didn't mean, like how I want him out of my life. I don't want to lose him. I love him.
He says that he loves you too.
God, tell him that I've missed him these last few months, that I absolutely hate my new job and the city that I'm living in. I just want to be back with him. That's all I want.
Jason says that's all he wants as well. He's missed you too.
Okay then, we'll sort it out. But for now, tell him to just rest. I'll be there soon and I won't ever leave him again.
Never?
Not unless he wants me to. I'm afraid he's going to be stuck with me.
He says he likes the sound of that.
And he doesn't need to worry about anything. We'll figure everything out in time. Paralyzed or not, I love him and I'm going to be with him. I've already started doing research into how to live with paralysis and all the different physio activities that he can do to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I've also looked into different ways for him to get about, like an electric mobility chair. That way he will still have his independence. It costs a little bit of money, but it's nothing that we can't figure out together. Anything to make his life easier for him. Also, I've already started looking for quotes on how much it'll take to make the house suitable for him. A downstairs bathroom and stuff like that.
Fleur says to relax. You'll work it all out together when you get here. Also, isn't your flight soon? Make sure you don't miss it.
Don't worry, I'm already at the gate. I will literally be the first one on that plane when it gets here. I can't wait to see Jason.
He says he can't wait to see you either. I've got to go now, though. The nurse just told me that visiting hours are over, so I've got to leave.
Okay, well, tell Jason I love him and that I'll see him at the next visitor's time. Okay?
Okay. And Fleur?
Yes, Angela?
Thank you. We've all missed you.
I've missed all of you as well. I'll see you soon. I promise.
See you soon.
I rushed over to Jason as soon as I could. Once I was in the hospital, I promised not to leave his side at all. Even when visiting hours were over, I would stay and sleep in the chair beside his bed. Sadly, the doctors were right in their prognosis that Jason would be paralyzed below the waist for the rest of his life. However, I did not let it stop me. The accident made me realize just how much I actually love Jason, and I couldn't fathom a life without him. Whilst we might still have our difficulties, we have begun to see a therapist together, and we are slowly but surely working out the kinks in our relationship so that we can be together happily. I have also taken up helping Jason adjust to his new life in a wheelchair. It's been difficult going, as it is a completely new way of life for him, but we are slowly making progress. We have also both quit our jobs and are looking at starting our own business together. That way, we are actually able to spend more time together than apart. It's going to be a long journey, but there is no one else in this world that I would rather take this journey with than Jason. I realize that the best things in life are worth fighting for, and whilst it's easy to leave and split from someone, if you want a proper relationship in life, you need to work through the tough times together. And that's how you build trust and loyalty in one another and take your relationship to the next level.